What if I told you that my days were coming to an end? Would you look at me funny because it's obvious every day ends? Because you assume that I'm talking about the literal day ending when the clock strikes midnight? Or that I'm starting another boring conversation and you're too uptight? Would you care enough to know the meaning of the words I speak instead of making assumptions that I am saying something weak? We live in a world where everyone knows your problems, but no one listens. We care about ourselves, and if someone needs help, then you've been there and you've done that, so you know my hell. What I'm going through and my issues are minor because the same thing happened to you and you can barely remember how it felt. Do you know how I feel just by the things that have happened to you and I alike? Can we each live the same lives and feel the same lies? What if I told you I were an individual, one that felt pain differently than anyone else, one that felt happiness at different times than you yourself? Would you still think I'm crazy if I told you that we live different lives daily? If I told you that life was hard and that sometimes I want to give up, what would you say? Not what you think you would say, but what would actually be said. Would you be there for support? Or would you laugh? Can you honestly tell me that you would listen, rather than assume you know that the problem is something minor, and the problem is the same problem that everyone on earth will have to go through? If I were to plead for help, would I get it? Do I live in a society to receive the help needed in desperate times? Is it socially accepted when someone needs to talk about their depression? Can I come to you with openness and receive help with no judgment? You see, we often like to believe that we are the good guys, but while we are the good guys, we often also believe we are the victims to the same problems as the last guy and as the next. We get so focused on our own lives that we begin to judge the lives of others by what we can see when they come and go. I can have secrets and I can have a tough shell, but with yours, I have to know. So if we are victimizing ourselves instead of listening to the cry for help, does that make us the good guy? If we try to reminisce in our problems instead of listening to theirs just to get by, what does that make me? Where do I stand? Am I listening as a friend? Or am I another one keeping them condemned? Let's think about that person who came to you for help. Where is he now? How does he feel now that he trusted you to speak up about his depression, about his suicidal oppression? Did you offer encouragement or did you condemn it because you couldn't make sense of it, you've been through it? Did you build them up or did you tear them down? Did he walk away with a frown? What is he going to do now? We are all in this life together, but we still have individuals committing suicide and thousands more that think about it every night. Why do we look at those people with pity because they couldn't keep up the fight? Why do we put ourselves above them when we've never even met them? Have you never felt depressed? Maybe you lost a loved one. Maybe it was a bad breakup or you were fired from your job. Why can't we be there for the ones who need us the most? Why can't we put someone else's needs above our own? If I were to tell you today is my last, what would you say? Would you listen with compassion or continue to rationalize the emotions I am feeling when you don't know the things I am dealing with? My final question for you is this. The moment that person decides he has no one left to talk to and then he takes his life, how will you feel? I don't want to know about the lies you will tell yourself so that you can get some sleep at night because he didn't. He didn't get to sleep at night because of your lies. Will you be able to say you were there? Could you say that you helped him when he came to you at the very end? Or are you going to hide again? When that day comes, how will you feel? What if I told you my days were coming to an end? Would you be there? Or would you even care?